877-829. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game, Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Good afternoon, Fan Run Nation. Good afternoon. Good morning. That's the way to start a week. Hope each and every one of you had a great weekend. Sure, it was soggy, but man, those temperatures this morning feels like football out there. And naturally, that's where we'll begin today's show. Vol football practice both days this weekend, and based on the reports, so many new questions. Last week it was the quarterbacks, and this weekend, apparently it's the receivers. Reports of guys hurt, guys sitting out, guys dropping balls, and I'm referring to the balls thrown to them. And all of a sudden, the blurred quarterback too. All of a sudden, in Vol Nation's special hyper-reactional way, we're wondering if we have enough in the wide receiver room to make it through the season. We'll recap the weekend and get a perspective from our Monday compadre when Ryan Shumpert of Rocky Top Insider joins the show in hour 2. That's a good segue to a piece that dropped on ESPN.com on Friday that talks about the results of the All-State Playoff Predictor and how the Vols somehow show up as the 10th most likely team to make this season's college football playoffs. The 10th. Yeah, I'm confused too. But we'll talk about it and also play a little Believe It, Don't Believe It to discuss it further when Russell Smith hops into the chat in hour 3. We've got basketball bracketology projections to discuss. Is NFL Red Zone about to get bastardized by ESPN? And hello, Senator Derek Dooley? Yep, it's coming your way on a Read and React Monday edition of Under Review. Let's get it started right now.
From the studios of Fox Sports Knoxville, it's time for Under Review with Bob Baskerville on Fan Run Radio.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Monday. It's a new week. Countdown continues. We're in August now. Only 26 days till football time in Tennessee. 19 days until week 0 where college football happens. And then only 31 days till real NFL football happens too. And then, like I said, that weather felt so nice this morning. I don't care if it's going to be a tease. Feels good. We're here to talk about stuff. Let's get to it. We are coming to you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios of Fan Run Radio. This is Under Review. I'm your host, Bob Baskerville. Joined as always by Sam Beard. Over in the production booth, we got Brett Hollander keeping us on point. Jake Jenkins here too. And you, the listener, we always appreciate you spending time with us, however you choose to do that. Whether it's live on the radio dial, AM 1340 or FM 105.7, maybe a live stream on fanrunradio.com via your desktop, your laptop. Maybe you're out and about using your mobile device, streaming us on that free Fan Run Radio app. And it is free. Noted. You may podcast us later. That's cool too, because we're available wherever you listen to your podcasts. Video. Checking you out right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, Fan Run TV, appreciate it. If you haven't been watching, get over there, like and subscribe. We're also available on video on YouTube and Facebook and X. Pretty much wherever you want to consume your content. And if you like us, we're going to be there with you. And we sure do appreciate you spending time with us. Means a lot. You can also be a part of the program on a live basis. Phone lines are open. Text box is open too. Same number works for both. Area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. You can also hit us up over on X. Like I said, the video's there, but you can also interact with us there too on X. We can be found at Fox Sports Knox. Kind of a crappy weekend weather-wise, guys, but I'll take that temperature turn. Feels good. And now we just get closer and closer and closer. It's crazy. I'm very excited. Very excited. Let's say hello to the gang. Sam, how was your weekend? How you doing?
I had a good weekend. Feeling pretty good. Got 2 rounds of golf under my belt. Got one late Friday afternoon, and then got one yesterday, kind of before the big rain came in. Place I was playing at. Luckily, we steered clear of it for probably I don't know 7-8 holes, and then it was kind of drizzling for the next 3 to 4, and then it was pretty nice after that. So it was good to be able to get a weekend round in and not just be dripping sweat, having to bring like a beach towel with me in the golf cart to be wiping off sweat everywhere and stuff like that. It was a nice, mid 70s, low 80s round. Played with a buddy that I hadn't played with in a while, so it was good to get out there with him and swing the sticks, and then played with like a random guy who was passing by through town for work. He was just on the way to Kentucky this morning to finish up like a work trip, and he was like, I figured I'd get a little weekend round of golf in. So I had a good Sunday, and then it's just one day closer to ball, Bob. 19 days till week 0, less than 30, 26 days for Tennessee football weather this morning. All the pieces to the puzzle are starting to come together. Soon enough, I'll have just like a pot of chili on the stove, being able to just sit down on my couch and watch football for 12 hours a day. But we're getting close, man. We're getting close.
I can't wait. Cannot wait. How about that baseball game at Bristol? That was a disaster.
Flop.
It looked cool. I will say that at the beginning.
Have you been seeing all the fan reviews and stuff like that on social media? I mean, it sounded like it was basically a sports fire fest.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of a guy tweet in the stands, just his terrible seat that he was in as well. And he was like, thanks for running out of hot dog buns. And he was just served a wiener.
Yeah, I saw that. A wiener. I saw nachos without cheese, just chips.
Just chips. Heard they were running out of water and beer too. So just eventually there was just nothing to be able to drink.
It's bad.
And it's just that's just a location that I feel like it's really tough to be like, hey, come back tomorrow. You know, there's not many people that were probably wanting to make a weekend trip out of Bristol. They probably thought that was like, all right, we're going to stay the night and then we're going to see the game and go on from there type of thing. But I don't know. Kind of seemed like a flop.
I've always, and I have not been to Bristol, but I've always heard, and it's like this at, they're going to resume an IndyCar race in Nashville out in Lebanon, where and I've been there for that. There's only one road, for the most part, one road in and out. So that just makes it even tougher. You could tell yesterday, I watched 5 minutes of it. I watched the end of it on TV yesterday.
Yeah.
And I mean, the crowd looked considerably less.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of people I'm not spending another night here, I'm sure. And a lot of people probably had to get to work today and
right.
everything else. But yeah, I felt bad for some of those hardcore fans. There were, a lot came down from Cincinnati. Of course, a lot came from Atlanta.
I will say the home run car around the race, that was pretty cool.
That was cool.
I like that touch.
They lost me though I knew it was going to head this way with the weather. You had such an potentially electric matchup on the mound with Burns and Strider.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rain came, and I was actually surprised to see Burns get the call still, but I guess Francona probably decided he was probably only going to go a couple innings, even if the weather held.
Yeah.
But he did an inning, and then the rain came again in the bottom of the first, and then Strider was not going, period. So that just changed. You knew it was going to be kind of a bullpen game, and I just lost my interest at that point.
Good glimpse of the future if you're a Braves fan. Hurston Waldrop with a nice performance.
Yeah, he looked good.
One of our only top prospects, I feel like, in the terrible farm system that we've got.
Eli White. I mean, I know he's been playing a little, but 2 home runs.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. Only 2 home runs hit in the state of Tennessee.
There we go.
Heard that from
there we go.
Earlier on the little Braves update in the commercial break.
Yeah.
Here. So, It's not bad. It's not bad. Brett, did you watch any of that fiasco?
I was pretty excited for it. I was excited to see Strider. I didn't really see the weather report going into it. I was watching all the festivities, and you can see that it was raining. It was cool. How they had the numbers on the trucks and the guys and all of that, and the pregame festivities were great. But it was disappointing they didn't get it in. I was kind of looking forward to it. As bad as baseball's been, it was something to watch, and I'm sure it would have been a big number on TV, stuff like that. So it was interesting to see how they put it together. And I saw the same thing y'all did about fans being disappointed with logistics and different things like that. And I've been to a race there a couple of times because I went to school up there, and they allowed you to bring coolers into races. So I guess that wasn't allowed for the baseball game. Because that would have helped out with the beverages and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed. I didn't get to watch any of it hardly yesterday at all. So that was the downside of it having to be moved. So I guarantee you there was a lot of people that were missing the action yesterday.
It looked so the prime seats along the first and third baseline, those were like built on the track. It looked like to me. I just thought of those other seats that were in the actual grandstands of the track. Man, some of those seats had to be brutal.
Some were like behind I don't know, behind the dugouts or whatever. I don't know. Like it was just like, why would you even pay for a ticket?
I was going to say that almost so bad to where it's like, I feel like you didn't get a view of like what your seat would have been. You know how some ticketing websites, you can kind of see like what seat you're going to sit in. I got a feeling that just wasn't an option for this game, because I don't think anybody would choose some of those seats that I saw posted on social media.
No, not at all. I think, that was bad. The players raved about it. They said it was well done. They said the locker rooms were great. There was no issues with that, and so, it's just unfortunately the fan experience, and, there's talk of them maybe doing a hockey game up there. I know the hockey officials were meeting with the people of Bristol as well. So, I guess it seems a strange one. I don't know what hockey would be around there, but but yeah, it was a little disappointing, because I was kind of looking forward to it, especially Strider and Burns. That would have been electric.
I did see they had Kenton Rosenthal interviewing Ellie De La Cruz before the game, and
Ken Rosenthal, he's so small.
Exactly, and De La Cruz, he's a shortstop, but he's like 6'5".
Yeah,
and I mean he's impressive, man.
Well, I saw him interviewing Terry Francona too, and he was like, looked like a foot and a half shorter than him. I'm like, is Ken Rosenthal like 5'2"?
Yeah.
It's like Schefter. Schefter's small too.
Schefter's a small guy too.
Interviewing people. I
guess you got to be, it's part of the job to be an insider.
That's, I guess, this new generation of baseball players too. Like I've heard of this guy, but I saw they were showing, it was that night, they were showing highlights because they were trying to vamp during the rain on Fox. But this pitcher on Miami, Yuri Perez, he's 6'8".
Yeah.
And I mean, he is absolutely a stud too. I mean, he's just coming into form now. 6'8", and that's what the Padres were saying when Mason Miller showed up. They were like, this guy's so big, man. And my buddy who's shot all-star stuff in the past, last year, Mason Miller was there, and he was like, Mason Miller is like at least 6'5".
Oh, yeah. Pitchers, I don't think the height stuff is as like, I feel like we've seen some tall pitchers throughout the days. But I do think, like, to your point about Ellie De La Cruz, like, there's not a whole lot of, 6'6" shortstops out there and stuff like that these days. I think some of the like type of frame stuff has kind of been thrown out the wayside a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
there's some guys for Tennessee that are even like a little bit bigger than their position. Like Dean Curley was a big guy for a shortstop.
Wasn't he like 6'3"
freshman year? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, O'Neal Cruz with Pittsburgh, he's another one. He's like 6'5".
Yeah.
Corey Seager is a big dude. He's like 6'4", I think.
You just think of them as like a DH or a first base. That's how it always used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed, man. Very different. I did like, we talked about this before. I wasn't nuts about the hats, but I liked the uniforms and also the batting helmets. Did you see those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of had like the name and the number on the side of the helmet. I thought that was kind of clever.
kind of just want to get back to like the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah.
Can we just make that the weird sight of the year? Like, do we have to go to a racing track, or can we just play the Field of Dreams game?
That's pretty awesome.
Rotate
honestly.
throughout the teams in the league, and everyone gets a chance to play at some point.
See, Jake's eyes just perked up because Field of Dreams was a movie. He was like, okay, I can relate here. There's a movie. Jake, I thought of you yesterday, last night, actually, because I was flipping around, and I haven't seen this in ages, but I know we talked about it recently, but they were running Jaws on AMC.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you say that movie scared you?
It would freak me out, but I think War of the Worlds was the one I was talking about that scared me.
Jaws scared me when I was younger. I mean, now you look at it, it's in this day and age of like CGI and everything.
Yeah, like, what the hell is this?
It looks kind of ridiculous. It's like a big plastic shark, coming around. But I stuck around and was watching it last night.
It holds up. It's good.
It is good. All the way down when Robert Shaw gets chomped at the end, it was like, good Lord. But yeah, given the era it was in, that was like one of Steven Spielberg's first forays too.
Yeah.
So
he was 28 when he directed that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if, and then I stuck around. They've got a series on. Have you seen the series called Nautilus?
No, I've never heard of that.
That's on AMC now too. And I decided last night I'd watch, because they're like 6 episodes in, but I've been recording it. So I watched the first episode, and it's kind of based on one of the Jules Verne books, who did, 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea and all that stuff. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. It was about like the 1850s, and they had built this state-of-the-art submarine. It's like, just can't picture that happening in the 1850s. But it was cool. But I can't say that I would race to go watch it. Well, we got stuff to talk about today. Sports, football. Thought it was going to be kind of a quiet weekend. The boys were practicing, and all of a sudden I get texts from some people, and I start seeing posts on social media going, what the hell's going on with our receivers, man? Nobody's catching the ball. People aren't out there. We're in trouble, man. Why do we have all these freshman receivers? Everybody's just, I think this is the typical, in the absence of real football, this is the time where you panic over anything.
Or you get yourself hyped up for something that you see is good.
Yeah. Right.
You're feeding into all the propaganda that you're getting pumped out of training camp in the NFL or fall camp in college ball. It's the beauty of the off season. You gotta take everything with a little grain of salt. It's probably never as bad or as good as it seems.
Got to pace yourself.
Yeah.
It's like,
but man, it's fun to overreact.
And boy, are we ever. The other thing that blew up social media last night, we're going to talk about it in the next segment, is this video that Tennessee Athletics or Tennessee football put out where there's a pick. Was it Colton Hood that made the pick?
Yeah.
But they blurred out the quarterback, and everybody's like, why? Well, who was it? It's like, who cares? It was like, I sometimes wonder if they did it just to get people spun up, I don't know. We got a lot to talk about in that realm. And then some other things too. The betting lines, they've been out on some Tennessee games for a little while, but the modified ones came out not yesterday, but I think Friday night or Saturday for 4 of Tennessee's games, arguably the 4 most important ones. We'll talk about that. Bracketology again, another round of bracketology from Joe Lunardi came out, and he faded the Vols. Got to talk about that. Not big, but still. And it's, by the way, August for college basketball. It's a little ways down the road, but a lot of things to talk about. This other one, too, we talked about in the show open about the all-state playoff predictor. Why do they do this to us? Gives us talking points, Sam, but still. They're saying we are, by percentage points, we should be comfortably in the field of 12. I ain't buying that, but
sign me up.
Yeah. Why not? We got no receivers. That's why not, Sam. Come on. All right. We're going to hit our first time out. When we return, topic A, Tennessee football practice over the weekend. We'll also get a perspective from Ryan Shumpert, who was out there covering it too for Rocky Top Insider. Ryan's usually pretty good about saying, hey, everybody calm down. but we'll talk about all of it with him too. But first, we'll break down some of what we saw or thought we saw over the weekend when we get back. Quick timeout. Be right back. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Knoxville, mark your calendars. Fan Run Night at the ballpark is back. Join us Wednesday, August 6th at Covenant Health Park as the Knoxville Smokies take on Biloxi and we take over the stands. It's all-you-can-eat night, so make sure to bring your appetite. Plus, we're hooking up the fans with exclusive Fan Run swag giveaways you won't want to miss. Come hang with the Fan Run crew, rep your team, and enjoy a summer night of baseball, food, and fun. Fan Run Night, August 6th. Be there.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
Topic A for today, Tennessee football, a weekend recap. So the boys were off on Friday. We had 2 more days of workouts this weekend. And just based, we're not there. We have to rely on what we see and hear and read from the entities that do get some coverage. But by the way, to be clear, the coverage that they get in these sessions is typically like 15 to 20 minutes. It's abbreviated, to say the least. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see. And but it never leaves us up in the air about putting some points of emphasis, if you will, or angst, however you want to slice it, when it comes to Tennessee football. Like Sam said in the last segment, this time of year, I think it's easy for us to gravitate towards that stuff because it's still just practice and workouts and not even intense practice, at least the parts we're seeing. We just want to see action. And so we base a lot of value judgments on some video we see. Last week, it was about the quarterbacks, right? It was, Joey Aguilar and Jake Merklinger, and Merklinger was more accurate than Joey, and Joey had better footwork. And then the next day, Joey looked good, and Jake maybe not as good. And I'm not sure it all means anything just yet. But this weekend, it seems like we had a new culprit, Sam, because, again, I was getting texts from some people saying, man, what's going on? You saw some posts on social media saying, I don't understand why we go with so many young receivers. We're in this position again. What is happening with our receiving room? Sam, what was your take on this? I got a lot of reports and everything, but again, it just feels like a little bit of overreaction.
Yeah, I think it's hard not to be a little bit concerned just given the overall, lack of depth in that room. But I do think you have to kind of say, hey, it's fall camp, and if you do, us as Tennessee fans, we're not the only people that are, that realize the wide receiver room is probably not the deepest room on that roster.
Right.
I know that Josh Heupel and that offensive staff are probably thinking like, man, maybe they think they should have gone into the portal and gotten a guy back in the wintertime, or just had a little bit better of a backup plan. But I think that's got to be in the back of their mind right now and saying, all right, well, we don't have the deepest room in the world, so let's not just run these guys into the ground during fall camp type of thing. If Mike Matthews is going through a tiny little injury or something that maybe he thinks he just needs a day off of practice, let's go give it to him, because we know that we're going to need Mike Matthews for the entirety of the season. Let's not waste our bullets right now here in the dog days of August before we get into an actual game. And, Chris Brazzell, an injury that has he's missed a string of practices to kind of start fall camp. So that's probably just a guy that I would guess that they're monitoring pretty closely and kind of saying, hey, don't rush back, because we're also needing you to be a starting guy. And I know it's concerning, but I just go back to the same thing that I always think of whenever it's a Josh Heupel offense. Like, when it's rolling at its best, you're not really subbing, and you're not using 6 or 7 receivers in a game. You're really only using 3 to 4, maybe 5 type of thing. And with the way that you've implemented the tight ends into the offense over the last year or two, that seems like something that you can kind of lean on, and you feel really good about that room with Miles Kitselman and Ethan Davis. And so, from a 1,000-foot view, it is concerning, and it is kind of worrisome to see a couple injuries already in that room and to see how thin that room can get. But at the same time, I think you just got to realize, like, hey, we're still a ways away from actual football being played, and you're just trying to minimize risk at this point, because you know that you've got a thin room, and you're going to err on the side of caution right now during fall camp, I think, is kind of the view I'm going at it with.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that it was Adam Sparks who mentioned too over the weekend, just a reminder that there's like four of Tennessee's top receivers in the receiver room have never taken a snap at the college level.
Yeah.
So that's just the reality. At the same time, these are mostly guys that are talented, and you want to believe that. Why can't somebody emerge? Like, I know Ryan Williams at Alabama, super special, but he was able to, and he was able to do it with a quarterback who was inconsistent, to say the least. So I don't know. I want to keep believing that that's going to be the case. And some of the same texts I was getting about how Saturday looked, and, yesterday got another one just saying that they were getting some behind the scenes info, and it was like, they look good today. They look pretty good. Rodarius Jackson looks good.
Yeah.
Tight ends look good. Like you were just saying, the tight ends could be doing a lot of 12 personnel this season.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
There's some real talent there.
I think you got to look at Heupel's quote too, where he said, young guys don't have time to be young. It's been one of those things that we've talked about as a program since we got back in January. Our coaches are responsible for that, and our players are too. To me, that's a quote saying, like, this coaching staff probably did realize, hey, maybe this isn't the deepest wide receiver room in the world, but, instead of going out and spending all of our money to go get a guy into the portal, they obviously had to kind of reallocate some of those funds to keep some of their guys on their roster. And I think they kind of went in with the mentality of, all right, let's trust our evaluations and let's trust some of these young guys that we have in the system, because we do think a Travis Smith can go out and play as a freshman potentially. We do think a Radarius Jackson can maybe make an impact. Does it have to be every single Saturday? No, but can you go ask him to go, play a couple drives a game and be out there and be a productive wide receiver? I just think this is kind of what we go back to and say, like, hey, we're going to figure out a lot about Josh Heupel this season. Is I think you're going to figure out a lot about the evaluation of some of these guys that they're choosing to kind of put their trust and belief in, instead of maybe going out and just spending money in the transfer portal willy-nilly.
Yeah, and I think if one of these guys just totally blows up and shows out, that's going to be kind of semi-unexpected, right? I mean, if there was a guy in that receiving core right now that went out and had a great season, if you had to predict who would that be this at the beginning of this season, would that be Matthews or would it be someone else?
Yeah, I'm continuing to just kind of put all my eggs in the Mike Matthews basket, to be honest with you. I just think he's that good of a playmaker. I think he's going to be that versatile of a guy for us. Had we seen some more flashes from Brazel last year, I probably would have maybe gone with him, just knowing that he's a guy that's coming back for another year in the system after getting a good bit of playing time. But if, the health concerns for him are going to be a thing, not only throughout camp, but kind of throughout the season, that gives me a little bit more concern type of thing. So yeah, I think I'm going all in with Mike Matthews and kind of hoping that your 5-star turns into a 5-star.
Got a texter from the text box that wrote in and said, how can literally everyone, and he emphasizes everyone in caps, see that this wide receiver room is a problem all off season except the coaching staff? They're going to look like absolute fools when we're starting multiple walk-ons in SEC play. Not like we're going to have walk-ons, but point taken. Again, I do think people are a little bit concerned about the lack of experience. And we think about this last year, we've made those comments about, can Joey Aguilar or even Jake Merklinger be more productive this season than Nico was last? Hell, Nico last season, at least when the season began, you had Brew McCoy, you had Squirrel White, you had players, right, at the wide receiver position, at least from a standpoint of being seasoned and experienced. We don't have that right now. But again, it makes me wonder if there's going to be a shift to, by all accounts, everybody's saying it. We'll talk with Shump in the next hour about it. It feels like we're flush with tight end talent.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes me wonder if we're going to see more of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's but it's got people concerned. There's clearly a pattern here that we're seeing based on what people were seeing this weekend. The other thing too is not even about the injuries and stuff. Again, I used the comment about dropping passes. It sounded like that ruled the day. There was video of that being shown too, and I know it's just drills and everything, but I don't know. You just feel like the pace is only going to intensify here.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm not concerned. I just I'm not smashing the panic button just yet. And,
right.
I just think you can kind of spin it two ways. You can say, hey, why didn't we go out there and go get some more talent in that wide receiver room in the portal? I think a part of that factor was that you had to spend a lot of your money that you were probably allocating to your roster for the next year on retaining some guys that were flirting with leaving the portal. And you just kind of got pinched a little bit in terms of what you could go out and buy in the portal or who was even available at the time. And I think you can also spin it the other way, that maybe this coaching staff is just that confident in Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley and another year of Chris Brazel to say, you know what, I really trust these guys that are in this room right now. And I think they're going to be able to go out there and, despite not really having all that much playing time under their belt, we feel really confident about who they are as players. And so we feel like we can go spend money elsewhere or spend it on guys that are, you're trying to make sure that they're going to be in orange and white next year type of thing. I don't want to say here and say that I'm 100% confident in this wide receiver room, because that's one of the groups that gives me the most concern, but I'm also not just like smashing the panic button here just yet on, August 4th and saying we're going to have a Will Brooks type of guy playing wide receiver for us come the Alabama game. But, you are 2 injuries away from that sort of happening.
Brett, we have not heard anything from you.
I probably don't want to.
That's.
I'm one of those negative people that's.
We're back, baby.
Concerned. You got to be concerned. You're 26 days away to your first game, and these guys are picking up non-contact injuries. It's muscle injuries, I would assume. I mean, how does Mike Matthews practice? And then all of a sudden we go to Saturday and you hear he's out. He's not even running drills. It's not like they're going full speed. It's stuff you're a little concerned about. Like, it's going to be something that lingers, So, I mean, you're really I don't even know what to say about it. I'm concerned, especially when you're trying to figure out who your quarterback is. And if you got guys dropping the ball with nobody around them and different things like that, this was the concern coming into the season. The wide receiver group is what they were going to do. And then when you topple that with who you're trying to figure out at quarterback, I mean, you got to be at least a little bit concerned. I mean, it's not like you're playing a nobody that first week. I mean, you're playing a quality opponent. And so I'm concerned because Brazel and Mike Matthews are kind of your 2 guys. I mean, if it was Travis Smith or somebody else, Amari Jefferson we're talking about, maybe I'm not as concerned. But considering you're talking what you're hoping to be your 2 best receivers being sidelined is not a good thing right now.
Before the weekend, when things apparently got sideways with the receivers, I think it was some of the practice highlights off of Thursday. Maybe it was Saturday. I don't know. It's the first time I've seen any. Travis Smith looks like a physical dude, man.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, I think 6'3", 205, 210 type of guy. Like,
yeah,
I've got high expectations for him. I don't know about this year, but like being a key piece in the future of this wide receiver room, absolutely. Absolutely.
Got some more comments on the text box. This person hit us 2 times. So, and the first one was actually about the baseball game that we were talking about. He said, I had about as much interest in that game as I do watching turtles crawl. It had about the same significance. So guess he was not a fan of the Speedway Classic in Bristol. But to football, he also wrote,
you probably could have done a turtle race around the track and finished the baseball game. Like, you probably could have finished the turtle race before the baseball game happened. If you let the turtles start right when the baseball game was supposed to, let them crawl through the rain.
Yeah, good point.
That would have been entertaining. Much more entertaining than the baseball game.
They also wrote, this is about football, as a fan, I'm extremely concerned that this team will underachieve by 2 games or more. They have lost more than people want to admit, a quarterback that is an interception machine, wide receivers that are inexperienced, and the O-line. I mean, we should just have banked on a good quarterback and just let this season go as rebuilding. It's going to be rough.
I just don't know what we were thinking in the offseason. Like, you knew what you needed. You knew Brew was gone. You probably knew Squirrel was gone. Like, you had guys, top receivers going to like Nebraska and like different things like that. And it's just, it's frustrating that they didn't put more of an emphasis on a position of need going into the offseason. And I feel like they swung and missed by just putting all their eggs in this freshman basket or whatever they were thinking. I don't know. It's baffling to me that they didn't emphasize the wide receiver position because it has been a weak link the last couple of seasons.
I do think I'm trying to at least rationalize this and say that when it comes to Mike Matthews, because as the story goes, we spent more money on him to stay. It does feel like they were pushing their chips in on the table to be like, okay, Mike Matthews, you're gonna get run this season. You're gonna be our guy. And maybe that's what happened. Let's put it this way. If this weekend it had been, I don't know, Radarius Jackson who sat out of practice, I think we might have had a different kind of reaction than it being Mike Matthews, right? It would have been like,
perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that it feels like there's a lot of pressure on Brazel and Matthews. Like, they have got to deliver. Otherwise, some of these concerns, Brett's and some of the others.
There's depth everywhere else, though. Like, this is the one position group where you don't have any depth.
Yeah.
You got guy. But even, I can't even say we have depth. We got like 5 wide receivers.
Yeah.
And maybe Boo plays. And I don't even count him right now because who knows what his story is going to be. So I don't know. I'm concerned, no doubt. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it'll probably change back and forth, like you said.
Well, there's no practice today, but then they go back at it tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see, is there something else that we see or discover? Because again, I felt like, okay, we know there's going to be a quarterback competition. At least that's what we're told. And I still stand by that it's Joey's to lose, but he could lose it. I think that can still happen. And I was like, okay, so we'll get some weekend practice. I'm sure some things will happen. I did not really anticipate that it was going to come back like, oh my God, what the hell? What's going on with the receivers? But that's the vibe at the moment. So maybe this week it'll be like, and what about the offensive line, man? These guys, it's just, again, I have a feeling we're going to have to power through the next couple weeks. And we'll find out for sure at the end of August, right? When they go on the field against Syracuse, because then we're going to start seeing. But I think until then, it's going to be a lot of conjecture, and we're here for it. That's what we all do. And we all have our concerns and beliefs of what could happen with this team. But that's why it's so ironic. Like I was mentioning it later in the show, we'll talk about how on Friday we get these little pieces of information that come out, like this all-state playoff predictor saying that Tennessee has better probability of making the college football playoffs than Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and LSU. And it's like, I'm a little skeptical of that, but hey, that's awesome, man. Let's go. Gives me some optimism, I guess. I'll try to add some in, but then the weekend hits and everybody's like, we have no receivers. So who to believe? I don't know. I don't think any of us know. We'll just have to see. Time will tell. We're going to hit a break. When we return, we're going to talk a little bit about the games ahead in this season for Tennessee. We're going to identify 4 of them that have been really laid out now with the most current betting lines. You can imagine which games. It's only 4. I would argue it's the most important because one includes the season opener and then the rest are SEC games. We'll talk about it, see how we feel about it. I don't really have much of a problem with it, to be honest with you, based on what I see, but I want to get everybody else's take. So we'll do that on the other side. Stick around. It's under review, and you're listening to Fan Run Radio.
You're locked onto Fan Run Radio, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and online at fanrunradio.com.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Every 40 seconds, a child goes missing somewhere in the U.S. You can help in the effort to find missing kids simply by donating your car or boat to Find the Children, a nonprofit organization dedicated to returning missing children to their families. Find the Children works closely with national and community agencies and organizations and helps distribute flyers and posters that are directly responsible for recovering missing kids. Your car or boat donation helps protect and recover children in every state and community by sponsoring child safety and recovery programs. For fast, free pickup, call anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Running or not, your car, truck, van, RV, or boat will be towed away free of charge. Fast, free pickup, plus it's tax deductible. Everyone wins when you donate your car or boat to Find the Children.
Call right now. 800-466-8813. 800-466-8813. That's 800-466-8813.
Welcome back. Final segment, hour one. Conversation continues on Tennessee football. Maybe step away from camp for a little bit and talk more about the road ahead. Some betting lines came out over the weekend. There's been some action laid out for some of the Vols games also earlier. I think VIP did some, friend and partner with Fan Run Radio. But some others came out, some other books put some lines out over the weekend, and they identified not the whole season like VIP did. They identified 4 highly critical games. The season opener, because it's your first game out against Syracuse, and then SEC games, and you can guess who those other 3 are: Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. Syracuse seems to be what I had been seeing, Sam. I don't know if it varied much from what you've been seeing, but they still have the Vols as a 13.5-point favorite in Atlanta, less than 4 weeks away. Mm-hmm. And Brett said it earlier. I mean, Syracuse is a legitimate foe, but I do feel good about this game. 13.5 might be a teeny bit heavy just based on some of the stuff we're talking about, but I could see them winning this by double digits.
I can definitely see a double-digit game. I think this is one that maybe, you're up like 13 points late in the game or something like that, and you're like, all right, I need another score. I need a field goal. I need a touchdown, something. And maybe you don't get the easiest cover in the world. I feel pretty confident about at least a double-digit victory for Tennessee, though. And for as many concerns as we have about our roster, I think you also have to just say, hey, this is SEC football versus an ACC school that's trying to get back, into kind of healthy standing in their program. We know they had a pretty solid year last year, but it's also a Syracuse team that has some moving parts going in and out of their roster, and they're going to be going through some change as well. And it's not an opponent that you're going to overlook and that you should just pencil in a win, obviously. But I think when it comes down to it, Tennessee should be able to handle business here in 14.5. I mean, obviously Vegas knows what they're doing with the lines, because I think it's kind of right around there. Could I see a 14-point Tennessee win where you don't cover? For sure. Could I see a 17-point win that late in the game Tennessee just kind of pulls away and their depth kind of shows and stuff like that? I can also see that as well. To me, the number of 53.5 kind of stands out to me. I don't see this game being all that high scoring. I kind of feel like I don't think our offense is necessarily going to be clicking on all cylinders to start off, and you're going to get 40-something points put up on the board for Tennessee, and I expect Tennessee's defense to look pretty strong against them. So I don't really expect Syracuse to go out there and put up a huge number either. So I'm kind of, from a first glance, under 53.5 looks a little bit more attractive than trying to lay 14.5 points.
Do you feel that Tennessee maybe gets? I just always think about 2022, and I mean, man, as a fan, what a season that was. Felt like there was a little bit of unfinished business, but what an entertaining product we had offensively, and I just wonder sometimes if that still lingers in the head.
That's kind of baked into the cake right now. Yeah,
it's just always, hey man, Tennessee and that offense. It's like, man, we haven't seen that offense for the most part for a couple of years now.
Right. Well, I just don't think you can, drop that over under total all that much either, because Tennessee does have the ability on offense to just score, 14 points in like 3 or 4 minutes type of thing. If you get a crazy short drive where you just have a deep ball completion and then you get a quick touchdown and a quick 3 and out and you go score right after that. Like, you're right. You saw in 2022 how fast the points could kind of pile up. It does feel like there is a little bit of a reserve tank that Vegas has kind of got for us there.
Yeah. Then there's the conference games, the 3 that they've identified. Week 3 for us, Georgia coming into Knoxville. They've got Tennessee as a 7.5 point underdog to Georgia. I honestly, don't hate me, don't at me, I think I would take Georgia in the 7.5.
I mean, I'm not going to hate you there, Bob. I think I would be too.
I mean, just based on, unless we see something in that opening game, because the second game is just going to be like glorified scrimmage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like, and Georgia, it does feel to me, it's crazy to say this when you're, ranked in the top 3 or 4 nationally, but for some reason, at least from SEC standards, it feels to me like some people are sleeping on Georgia. It seems like we're getting a lot of Texas love, and Texas is loaded. I get it, but man, it's tough to doubt Georgia right now. And so when I see them as a 7.5 point favorite, even in Knoxville, man, might be some money to be made there.
Yeah, I mean, you get the kind of the classic, like, home field advantage is kind of worth like 2.5, maybe 3 points on the spread. So neutral site game, like they think this is somewhere around a 10.5-ish type of game. I would, based on what Georgia has done against Tennessee in the last couple of years, I'd be laying 10.5 too, probably. I don't think that. I'm not super confident in Tennessee playing Georgia ever, and especially with kind of how early in the season it is and how we're still going to be working through some things. And I don't think your offense is necessarily going to be ironed out. I think there's definitely potential for that defense to not just be at its peak as a unit yet. And I just think when it comes to how early in the season that one is, I don't exactly love the spot that like our football team's going to be in with somebody that talented coming in across the way. So yeah, I mean, at what, 7.5 you said?
7.5.
I think I'd be taking that too.
Yeah. The next one's in Tuscaloosa at Alabama. The Vols are 12.5 point underdogs. Now see, and maybe this is not born out of hate for Alabama. There's still part of me that's like, Alabama's got a lot of talent, but I don't feel like just where I said people might be sleeping on Georgia, I feel like some people maybe glazing Alabama up a little too much. Yeah. I mean, they got players, man. DeBoer is a good coach, but I don't know. This one, I feel differently about this one. I'd be a little more torn, I guess, is what I'm getting at on the point spread.
This is a number to me that, like, from a preseason standpoint, I can't confidently go either way.
Yeah.
Like for the Georgia game, I'm just, no matter what Tennessee shows me throughout the first 2 games, I'm not going to be feeling super confident about Tennessee being able to cover 7.5. But I think this is one that just midway through the season, Tennessee's going to have 6 games under their belt. They'll have a bye week under their belt as well to kind of maybe get some of these growing pains figured out and kind of adjust on the fly in the middle of the season. And Alabama will be a team that has played some tough competition as well. They'll have played Georgia on the road. They'll have gone and played Missouri on the road midseason as just kind of a potential kind of trip up game. They'll get their revenge game against Vanderbilt. Like they'll have a little bit. I think they'll have been tested a little bit more than Tennessee will. So I can't just confidently say that Tennessee's going to go in there and cover, but I also kind of agree with you in the sense of like, man, is that a number that really just kind of sticks out as the hyping up Alabama with how much talent they have on their roster? Are we going to be 100% sure that kind of that team gets kind of flipped around from what it was last season through 6 weeks, because they were up and down as well last year.
Yeah. Another one that partly it's because it's considerably later in the season this year, but Florida, that was the fourth one that they laid odds on, and they had Florida as a 4-point favorite in Gainesville. That's one that we just don't know what both teams are going to look like by then. However, we know how Tennessee performs in Gainesville. So there's part of me that's like, I don't know. Maybe you do take Florida and 4. I mean, just because that's not a big total there.
Will DJ Lagway be the quarterback by then? You know, can you maybe get in early on a good line with Tennessee +4 and Harrison Bailey's the starter by the time Tennessee rolls around to Gainesville? Who knows?
Yeah. So I don't know. I just find those all interesting. Brett, from your perspective, any of those point spreads, like, is there any where you're like, no, this is crazy? Or
I think they're all pretty fair. I mean, it's just, I am interested in the Georgia game because if your defense is as good as we think it's going to be, I think maybe you could do that one. But I mean, if Georgia had a struggle last year, it was on the road. I mean, you saw that they had a couple of losses, almost lost Kentucky on the road. So new quarterback coming in, maybe a little unexperienced. He's never experienced kneeling in his life, or really a road game. He's played in big games, but not on the road. So kind of like that too. So I don't know. I think they're all fair today. But maybe Syracuse, I'm having questions about, especially if our wide receivers tend to go the wrong way, so, but I think they're fair as of today.
Could be 3 losses right there in those 4 games.
Potentially.
I think we're all in our mind saying at least you never say never, but you accept Georgia and Alabama as losses. Florida's a critical game for this team. We've talked about that. If they're going to be perhaps a 3-loss team, they got to, or maybe they get lucky and they become a 2-loss team, but they got to take care of Florida on the road.
I think just especially for the time of year that it's played at.
Yeah.
Like second to last game of the year, you kind of saw how Florida was able to almost flip the vibe of their season just with the way that they finished the year. Like being able to kind of go down into Gainesville and get a road win in the second to last week of the season. Like to me, that's a lot of, I think that builds up. I don't know if I should say like good grace, but a lot of positive momentum going into the next year. If, maybe you're not really in playoff contention, but you're kind of an 8-win team at that point, and you go down to Florida and you get your 9th, or I guess I should say a 7-win team, and you go down and get your 8th, and then you can kind of get Vanderbilt in the final game of the year to become a 9-3 team. Like to me, I think that would kind of save face for the season if you go down there and get one on the road.
Yep. All right. That wraps up hour 1 of the show. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we return, we'll continue the conversation about Tennessee football. Get a guy who had eyes on the field this weekend, at least for a limited amount of time. Ryan Shumpert with Rocky Top Insider. Let's get his take on things. We'll do that when we kick off hour 2. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the C&B Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at C&B has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Whether you are buying or selling a home or even looking for some land to build on and start a family, be sure to give Reed Emerson with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Heritage Group a shout. He is a longtime listener and supporter of Fan Run and has been serving the Mid-State for many years. Reed prides himself on his hassle-free and honest approach. And that's because he's not just chasing another commission. He wants what is best for his clients. Give Reed Emerson a call or text him today to get the process started. His number is 931-492-0418, or you can find him online at bhgheritagegroup.com.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
Hour 2 of Under Review starts now.
I deserve congratulations, 'cause I came out the
Welcome back to the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios of Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio. It's Under Review. Got Bob and Sam and Brett and Jake here on a Monday, kicking off another week. Let's continue our conversation on Tennessee football. We devoted hour 1 to some of the reported happenings at practice and how that seems to have our fan base yet again on edge. And then we talked a little bit about some of the wagering perspective and how 4 really critical games in the Vols schedule, the lines are out there, and the Vols are dogs in 3 of the 4. And we as a group kind of came to the conclusion that, yeah, we kind of get it. Nobody's being wronged here. We got some stuff to figure out for this team, and we'll solve it all here on this show. That's what we do. Now, let's get a perspective of a guy who does a great job covering Tennessee athletics. He was at practice this weekend. You know him from his work at Rocky Top Insider. He's a good guy. He passes muster with Sam and I. We like him, and we appreciate him hopping on today. It's Ryan Shumpert with RTI. Ryan, thanks for hopping on. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. Real quick, before we get into football, did you get a chance to check out any of that, whatever you would call it, that event in Bristol, the baseball game?
I had the game. I was over at a friend's apartment on Saturday night, and we had the broadcast. I'm not even really sure you can call it the game, but we had it on just about the whole time. And yeah, no, I mean, we were joking. Even Tennessee baseball wouldn't have started the game with it raining the way it was on Saturday night. So it was giving me some more flashbacks to April at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, but quite the spectacle. And I didn't end up watching any of it yesterday, but it seemed like Saturday night was quite the ordeal.
I thought your first question to Ryan was going to be who the blurred QB was, Bob.
Oh, we can go to that. We have so many questions for Ryan, and he's going to solve every single one of them for us. That's what we said. We're all about solutions here. And after this segment with Ryan, we'll have fully figured out Tennessee football and what the season will look like. Ryan, you agree? You up for that?
Yeah, I mean the football program might go to crap by the time we talk again next week, but I can have it figure it all out at least for a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, okay. So honestly, let's get to that one. That's not necessarily hard news, but what do you think the whole the video that Tennessee Athletics Vol football did yesterday with the blurred out position player? Do you think that's just like a troll move, or I mean, I'm just curious why that would even happen. If it was a troll move, it was kind of creative, I gotta say.
No, I don't think it's a troll move. I don't think they want people to know who threw a random interception in practice. I mean, and look, Tennessee's not alone in this, and I don't cover LSU or Alabama, so I don't know to what extent they are. I don't know if they are as bad as Tennessee, but you would think it's state secrets that they're hiding over there. You know, a video gets posted of a drop on Saturday, and we don't get to film routes on air on Sunday. Which, you know, whatever. It's not the end of the world, but I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. Every NFL team, you get to watch all of their practice. Media does. Tennessee baseball, you can go over there anytime you want and watch all of practice. Tennessee basketball, it's not every day, but twice during the season and relatively frequently in the off season, you get to go over there and watch all their practice. And those programs are doing pretty well. And again, Tennessee's not alone in it. I'm not trying to act like it is strictly a Josh Heupel Tennessee football issue of acting like they're the CIA or something, but it is pretty ridiculous. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I didn't take it as a troll. I think they simply didn't want people to know who threw an interception in practice.
God, I would tend to agree with you. It's crazy though, too, because you know what it does is it gets everybody spun up, and that's not their intent either. But
just means more.
It just means more. And I just feel like this is what I was saying earlier, Ryan, in all these narratives that have happened in the last few days, in the absence of actual action and access for you guys, this is what we're left with. We got a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of, social mediaites that are just stirring things up.
For sure. I mean, that's where, I've been logging the results of all these routes on air when we're out there, and I write it every single day in our practice notes and observations that, hey, this is 5 minutes of us watching routes on air. There's nobody playing defense. There's no pressure. To this point, most of the routes have been 5 to 15 yards down the field. It's not that much, but at the same time, they don't give us anything. We don't get to watch anything. We don't get to watch any actual competition. So you're just, from my standpoint, we're just trying to make the most of what they give us and trying to advise people not to go crazy over what these numbers are. But at the same time, we have to make the most of what we are allowed to watch, which is very, very little.
Social media has been kind of spun up on the wide receiver rooms and the depth kind of concerns that are already starting to mount a little bit with the news that Chris Brazzell and Mike Matthews were sidelined for a practice. I guess, A, how much of that is a true concern for you going forward? And then B, do you kind of envision the tight end room with that kind of being a potential strength of this roster this year? Do you kind of see them maybe being able to kind of shoulder some of that load that a somewhat thin wide receiver room might not be able to do throughout the course of a season? Do you have confidence in the tight end room being able to kind of cover the slack, I guess, there?
Yeah, I think to go to the first part, look, I don't think the Mike Matthews thing's a big deal from what I've been told. I think he'll be back out practicing this week. But, yeah, I mean, it's all the stuff that people are, I don't know if freaking out's the right word, but are, up in arms about. Like, I could have told you all this last week. Yeah, they don't have depth at receiver. That was apparent. They went out, they lost so many guys in the portal, and they went out and got one guy in the portal, and this guy who is another young guy who isn't ready to play. So, yeah, I think that's a concern. At the same time, it's going to be, I think some of these young receivers are talented and they're going to get opportunities. So we'll see if they can take those and run with it. I think that's the positive outlook on it, that you're going to get some young talented guys you're going to throw in the fire. The second part of your question, I think yes, in standpoint, if they do have depth at tight end. I like the young guys. Obviously, Kitselman's proven. Ethan Davis has always been super talented. We'll see how consistent he can be.
is there at that center position, or would you go with somebody like Pendleton who has some experience playing at this level and maybe banking on one of your guys like a Shamrov to be able to kind of slide into that guard position if you do have Pendleton at center?
Well, I think you hit it there at the end. I think it's a lot of it's as between Sham Umarov and William Satterwhite. I think Sam Pendleton's going to start at one of those spots. So then it kind of leaves which one of those other guys do you think is better? Which one of those other guys are you more confident in? I think from that extent, Satterwhite has a little bit of an advantage because I think Pendleton is at least a little more proven at guard. I think it's more ideal for him to be at guard as opposed to center. Not that he can't play center, but his playing experience. I know he practiced a good bit at center and was a backup option for Notre Dame, but his in-game experience has been at guard. So I think the best case scenario is Satterwhite kind of grabs that job at center and runs with it, and then you see Pendleton slide into one of the guard spots. I'm not sure what that will be. When they'll know the Arizona transfer has worked back at left guard and right guard when we've been out there at practice, so it's not quite clear what spot he's going to be at. But again, I think in many ways you talk about those battles, and it's Pendleton versus Umarov, Pendleton versus Satterwhite. In a lot of ways, even though they're not playing the same position, to me it kind of feels more like Satterwhite versus Umarov at their respective positions. Who can be further along? Who does Tennessee trust them?
And Shumpert with Rocky Top Insider, keeping it on task of position battles. This one, of course, has been. This is what kind of ruled the social media and sports talk cycles last week was the quarterback situation. That was before the weekend hit and everybody started hand-wringing about the receivers. But the quarterback situation, from your perspective, we had Chris Lowe on last week and we talked about it. And I asked the question to which he agreed that I know that Josh is saying it's a quarterback competition, and I don't disbelieve that. But at the same time, you don't spend as much money as you did on Joey Aguilar and not, give him a chance to even be viewed as maybe the guy. My take is that it's his job to lose. Now, he could lose it, but what's your position on this? Is it a wide open competition, or is this one where they're watching Joey closely? They're getting Merck in for some reps and everything else, but it's Joey's to lose. Agree or disagree?
I would say overall agree. I wouldn't agree with that last verbiage of, they're just getting Merck some reps. This rep standpoint, it looks like a true competition. That would be my thought. I just think, to your point, it makes a lot more sense for Aguilar to get the first crack at this thing when they open the season against Syracuse. I think Merck would pretty clearly have to be better than him in practice for it to make more sense for them to go to Merck first. For all the reasons you said, for the fact that I think Aguilar is a higher ceiling guy. And I think Heupel would like, and this is obviously just pure speculation, I think Heupel would like to not have to go play 12 personnel again and not have to play conservatively. So after losing Nico and all that's been made of it, I think he would love nothing more than the offense to get wide open and start hitting some chunk plays down the field like they did in 21 and 22. And I think Aguilar gives him the best chance to do that. So with all that in mind, yeah, I think it's Aguilar's job to lose, but I don't think there's a big gap between these two at all, if any gap at all. And look, I'm not particularly high on where either of them are at right now. So it wouldn't surprise me if Merck ends up getting opportunities too, whether that be against Syracuse or just at some point in the season, because there isn't a huge bit of separation. And again, you can go to that thought process if we want to play with the higher upside. Until that starts making games you should win a little bit closer, then I think we've seen Josh Heupel is going to do what it takes to win games. And I think Merklinger is the safer play, and maybe raises Tennessee's floor a little bit this fall.
As someone who's been at all of these press conferences and like media availabilities, has there been anyone that has really asked Josh Heupel kind of about the wide receiver room and just the lack of going out there and wanting to get some people in the portal? Because it kind of feels like that's been just a talking point that the media and beat reporters around town have really been kind of hammering home, but it doesn't really feel like I've gotten too many answers out of Josh Heupel. Not that he's going to give us a straight answer on it, but it doesn't really feel like it's been presented to him either.
Yeah, I mean, he's only talked twice this year, or this fall, excuse me, and I wasn't necessarily always there in the spring due to the basketball and baseball stuff. So, he's been asked about the receiver room being young, but to your point, not directly about not going out and getting anybody in the portal. So, I would say your assessment there is accurate.
I'm going to jump to a little basketball because I love to talk basketball, and we're in a position now where basketball still stays in the conversation in the summer. It's kind of nice, but they had a workout last week. It was after you were on the show. So again, we haven't had a chance to get your first take on things, but we certainly saw what you wrote up in the piece and on RTI. And it sounded like Jacoby Gillespie was, he resonated with you, Ryan. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I would say so. Like he's a really interesting cat, especially following Zakai Ziegler, because Zakai was so outspoken at all times, and for being the little guy on the court, you never missed him. There was never a moment out there that you weren't super aware of Zakai Ziegler. Jacoby's kind of different. He's a really quiet guy, at least at practice when we see. And they'll be working on something that, it's maybe an action that they're trying to get the ball inside. And because of that, it'll be a handful of minutes out there that, I wouldn't say you forget that he's out there, but it's just not like he's overly involved in things. And then they switch it up or they start running up and down the court 5-on-5, and you notice him very, very quickly. And the shooting is, as we've talked about, is as advertised. He is a plus shooter. And I continue to be impressed by, I think, his quickness and his ability to get to the basket and score there too. So he's a really good player. I think we knew that coming in. I think the question was always how much better can he get. It's a little bit of a unique spot where you point to, all right, first year in a system, that might be an issue or a reason that he might not grow from a statistical standpoint as much. But on the other side, I say, it's his second year playing in a power conference. He spent 2 years at Belmont, a year in the Big Ten, where he's, I'm sure, going through, in Belmont to Maryland's not the adjustment that North Florida to Tennessee is, but I'm sure he was going through a lot of the same things Chaz Lanier was last year of being a main guy, dealing with more athletic players. And, we saw by the end of the year, Chaz got past that stretch and he was highly productive. And I think if Chaz Lanier had another year of eligibility and was back at Tennessee, we'd be saying this is a guy that would probably take another step forward this year. I think Gillespie is all the more so that type of guy because maybe some of the things he can do getting to the basket a little bit more than Lanier was. So, yeah, definitely bullish on Gillespie and think he's, maybe has another gear to his game and can be even better than the all Big Ten point guard he was a year ago at Maryland.
Sticking with some basketball stuff, Ryan, I'm going to guess that you probably don't have a great answer for this, but I know that you guys had a chance to speak to Coach G, Garrett Mendenwald, a few weeks ago, and he was kind of talking about the off-season workout process and stuff like that. Was there anything that was asked kind of about the two guys in Clarence Masamba and now Ethan Berg that haven't been able to get to campus? I'm just kind of curious with how strenuous of kind of an off-season strength program it is for the guys that are already on the roster. I'm kind of curious what it's like for those guys that haven't exactly gotten to campus yet and how quick of a learning curve that kind of is for them.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that's one of those things where I think it hurts Masamba a lot more than Berg. I mean, Berg's a 22-year-old man, essentially. Like, he's played professional basketball in a good league and has been doing that and competing. Not that Masamba hasn't, but, it's not like either of these guys are going to be in really bad shape or anything like that. You're right, it is different when you get to Tennessee. But you just look at Berg's frame as opposed to Masamba's, and I think a number of those other factors where I would say I'm not really concerned about it for Berg. I do think it probably hurts Masamba. And again, I think it hurts both those guys not being here for the practice aspect of the summer too. But again, I think it hurts Masamba more because he's a younger player and he has less experience. Whereas Berg, I think you at least hope, if not expect, that he's going to be able to pick up some of this stuff a little bit quicker, just because of the nature of the beast and the experience that he has and the level of basketball that he has already played at.
Staying with basketball, one more. It sounded like JP Estrella was able to operate with fewer limitations in the past practice of last week. What was your takeaway on JP?
Yeah, I think just to that point, like, I think there were more limitations on the team as a whole because they had some guys injured and weren't practicing. Nate, Cade Phillips, Troy Henderson all weren't out there. So they, a lot of times that last day of summer, they will do a full structured scrimmage. They didn't do that. So from that aspect, they did less than what they maybe normally do in a practice. But to JP's, how he fits in, he did everything that anybody did that was practicing. He was, for what they did at that practice, JP was full go. And I think that's a really good sign. And yeah, I mean, I just think we saw what you kind of want to see from him, or maybe what we know about him, and that he's a talented scorer on the low post. We saw him score a bunch of different ways, hook shots with both hands, some of those John Fulkerson high releases that are going to be very difficult for anybody to contest, let alone block and hit some of those. So, we saw what we kind of, I don't know if you can go as far as saying no JP is because he's played so little. But for the media standpoint and guys that, we've gotten to watch him in practice more, what we've been kind of accustomed to seeing. So, that's certainly a good sign. And, how effective can he be defensively? How many different ways can he score offensively? Like all those things will affect his role. But, he's a guy that I think has a pretty wide range of what he could be for Tennessee this year. And certainly seeing him do more and it kind of feeling like he can, for the most part, hit the ground running when the team comes back for the fall, I think is a good feeling for a guy that's just had so much of his development stunted due to injuries over the last, 15 months or so.
Oh, man. It's crazy. Well, I think some of it, like we were saying earlier, is there's only so much football we can talk about, even though it's football season. So here we are in basketball, but part of it is they're at least a little more of an open book. And there's just, there's a lot to be optimistic about with basketball. So I appreciate you breaking some of that down. Back to football then. So these guys resume practice tomorrow?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So is they going to continue the 2 on, 1 off rotation through the week then?
Yes, I believe that's the case. I know it's Tuesday, Wednesday, off on Thursday. They'll have their first scrimmage on Saturday. I don't know this for a fact, but I would assume that they are off on Sunday. That's typically the case after scrimmage days. And to your point, it would match the 2 on, 1 off with the rest of the week. So that's what I believe it'll be. They'll be in shells again tomorrow, and then they'll go full pads for the first time on Wednesday. And then, Saturday, I think it's kind of obviously we won't get to watch, but that's kind of a mark that everybody points to. That first scrimmage is you'll start to learn more about this team and start to get out of these opening stages where they don't have the full pads on. And even I think for the people that are at practice the entire time, there's only so much you can glean, especially with some of those competitions that we were discussing on the offensive line.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, as always, appreciate you spending time with us. You can go follow this guy at rshump00. Also, you can find his work at RockyTopInsider.com. Really appreciate you spending time with us, man. Have a good week ahead. I'm sure when we gather up next week, we'll have some sort of controversy to talk about, that manufactured or real, who knows. But I'll look forward to talking to you the next time. But thank you, my man.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll be hoping for manufactured controversy and not real.
Yes. Yes, sir.
See you, Ryan.
See you guys.
See you, man. All right, let's hit a break. When we return, so again, this is one of the things I said earlier in the show. We talk about these things that maybe have us wringing our hands a little bit about the Vols. But then there's at least one metric over at ESPN.com that says the Vols will be a college football playoff team again this coming season. From a likelihood standpoint, we got to break that one down. It just maybe it'll get our hopes back up a little bit. We've been going through a lot of reality checks here the last hour plus. Let's talk about this on the other side. Quick timeout, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Only 3 homestands remaining to see your Knoxville Smokies play this season. And this week will be full of celebrations, starting with free hot dog night on Tuesday. All the hot dogs you can eat all night long. And if you're still hungry, we've got all you can eat Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday with half off draft beers. Then on Friday, we honor one of the founding members of the Negro Southern League, the Knoxville Giants. On Saturday, we're continuing the fight against breast cancer by painting the park pink. And on Sunday is Cocoa Melon Day. Grab your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the hell is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'sproKnoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Hey folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Welcome back. So, the Vols being a college football playoff team again, according to ESPN's All-State Playoff Predictor, the answer is yes.
Why even play the regular season, Bob? Let's just start it now.
We're in.
We're in the playoff.
Now, to be clear, this story is titled 32 teams can make the college football playoff. So they all have some sort of
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. But Tennessee, this is what's crazy. You know, they do these analytics basically, and the 32 teams are the most in the college football playoff era, and they all have at least a 10% chance of reaching the playoff. But they rank them based on their percentage likelihood to make the playoff via ESPN analytics. Tennessee's number 10 on this list out of 32 teams. So, you know, college football playoff, 12-team format. We're in, man. Let's call it. These games don't matter, like you said.
Let's do it.
We're in. Now, so the usual suspects are at the tip top, of course. You got Texas number 1 with a 84% likelihood to make the playoff. Georgia second at 78.6%. Ohio State third at 70.6%. Alabama, 4th, 66.2, and Penn State, 5th, 63.8. Like I was mentioning, there's teams ahead of Tennessee, Clemson, Oregon, Miami. Miami's pretty high. They got Miami number 8, 46% chance to make the playoffs.
I'm trying to load this article right now, and classic ESPN just giving me the spinning wheel. Is that the second best ACC odds, I'm guessing, then?
Yes.
Just only above Clemson, or only behind Clemson,
Only behind Clemson, and actually not far, only a percentage point behind Clemson. Notre Dame is number 9.
Where does like SMU rank?
Let's look at that.
As a team that did make the playoff last year.
Still scrolling, and I don't see SMU.
Interesting.
I am down to 17, and I don't see SMU. I'm down to 20, and that's where SMU lands. 20.
Auburn has a higher chance than SMU.
UNLV has a higher chance than SMU. So back to rounding out the top 10. So number 9 is Notre Dame. Makes sense, 45.6. Then there's a relatively precipitous drop-off. Tennessee is number 10, and they're bunched up with a handful of teams. Tennessee's likelihood via ESPN analytics to make the playoffs is 38.5%. And they have a section here saying agree or disagree with ESPN analytics. Heather Dinich did this piece, and she wrote, disagree. This is too high for the Vols, who returned just 39% of their offense from last season's playoff team. With Nico Iamaleava at UCLA and running back Dylan Sampson and the top 3 receivers from last season also gone, the team's entire offensive identity is a question mark. Season opener against Syracuse, per Brett Hollander, he would agree, is hardly a gimme to start the nation's 15th most difficult schedule.
Outside of Dylan Sampson and like Dante Thornton, who are we missing that is coming, that, you know, from last year's offense that we're missing this year?
Yeah, you know, I mentioned earlier Brew and Squirrel, but those guys were, they had really lackluster final years there. No, that's it. That's it.
If you want to count offensive line, I guess.
Well, that's true.
You're replacing.
Who do you want back besides Cooper Mays on the offensive line?
Huh?
Who do you want back behind
Spraggins?
I'll take our guards this year.
Really? Spraggins is a guy that's proven to stay healthy and play all 4 years. You never had a question mark about him.
Wendell Moe is one of the best guard transfers in the country.
Not in the SEC. I haven't seen him play. I can't sit here and say anything. I mean, you go by the numbers, but I saw Spraggins, and he was a veteran guy and did well. So, but I mean, you asked the question who was back. So, I mean, I don't know. You heard Ben McKee talk about the offensive line last week. You know, everybody's high on him, but we haven't seen him play together yet either.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because so they've got Tennessee at 10th ahead of Texas.
Mo played in every single game last year, Brett, and didn't allow a sack or a penalty. I don't think we can just say like SEC football compared to Big 12. Like I know it's a step up in competition. It's not like he was playing Conference USA football though.
So you'd rather have Mo than Spraggins?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the offensive line is going to be miles better than it was last year.
Miles?
You've got 2 5-star tackles.
We haven't seen David Sanders play a snap.
He's rated that high for a reason.
Okay, I'm just saying, like that's high school. I mean, we're at the big leagues now. Let's just pump the brakes.
This is what we talked about last week with the offensive line too. Last year's offensive line, some weeks you weren't sure who you were going to get, right? Because they were fighting injuries and everything else. So I would say from a starting point, to your point, they got to go out and perform and show it. From a starting point, I think there's reason to be optimistic about the line. Some people disagree, but I think I feel pretty good about what the offensive line can be. Yeah. They've got to go out and show it now.
Yeah.
Tennessee, who in preseason conference rankings, they trail some of the teams that are behind them in this probability thing, which is strange. Number 11 is Texas A&M. Number 12 is Ole Miss. Number 13 is LSU. And Heather Dinich vehemently disagrees with that too. She wrote, "This is the deepest, most complete team Brian Kelly has had at LSU. And he has said repeatedly it's good enough to contend for a national title. He could be the problem." She didn't say that. I did. I do agree with the fact that LSU, how they're 13th in this, makes no sense to me. How we're ahead of them makes no sense to me. I think LSU could conceivably be the third best team in the SEC. They could be better than Alabama for my money.
I would guess this is more based on like schedule stuff
Right.
more than talent on paper, because LSU's got an incredibly talented roster on paper this year. I just think maybe it's, hey, you've got an opening game against Clemson. You play Florida, you go to Ole Miss on the road, you play South Carolina, you play Texas A&M, you play Bama, you go to Oklahoma on the road to finish the year. I would guess it's mostly just scheduling stuff when then you look at Tennessee's schedule and it seems like a cakewalk compared to kind of what LSU has to go through.
Right.
Because I agree with you. There's no way, in my opinion, that roster-wise for right now, Tennessee should be higher rated than LSU in terms of just being able to make a playoff.
And by the way, dumbing it down, I'm sitting here looking at the top 12 ranked teams. And if it's a 12-team playoff field, if you just looked at these analytics, there would be 6 SEC teams in the college football playoffs. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
We saw the tussle last year over this. I mean, it's probably more like 4. So again, there's a lot of football that needs to be played here. And I just found it interesting, though, that there were so many SEC teams at the top. That doesn't surprise me. It just surprised me where Tennessee landed. And to your point, one of the coaches that were so vocal about things, Rhett Lashley, SMU's 20th in this. Let's find out if Indiana's here in this top 32. By the way, Oklahoma's 23. Florida is 25. Still making my way through. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. There you go, Kurt Signetti. You're not even in the top 32 for this.
Boom.
There we go. I like this. Let's do this. Let's make this a 32-team field, like Drinkwitz was saying, right? Put these 32.
Let's not have Auburn as the 18 seed.
No, that's crazy. I find it crazy that Auburn's ahead of Florida in this thing.
I find it crazy that Auburn's on the list, Bob.
Yeah, considerably ahead of them. I mean, 7 spots ahead of them. So I don't know. Yeah, it's great. You always want to take these and look at them and go, man, that's nice. We stack up nicely, but it's hard to buy into. This is one where we've been saying that the College Football Playoff Selection Committee needs to maybe get a little more rooted in analytics when they do their selections. And this is you look at this, and if I was somebody on the selection committee, it's like, you would want me to go with this because I don't know, the eye test on some of these teams that are ranked below our guys, quite honestly, doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. So you're right, Sam. It's got to have something to do with schedules and everything else.
That's why we don't trust AI, Bob. That's why you want to start the slippery slope with AI first downs, and soon enough they're going to be deciding who goes into the playoff or not.
Well, and my thing too is, hey, ESPN, pick a lane, because last week it was SP Plus. This week it's the All-State Playoff Predictor. It's like they've got, I don't know, guess it's silly season for them too, man. They just keep rolling stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
But when our teams are involved in it, we got to talk about it. That's our job. That's what we got to do. So I don't know. I'd love to be in that mix. I just feel like that's kind of lofty praise for a team that we've been talking about it today. Seems to still have quite a few question marks right now.
And like, if all these teams like bunch together like 9-3, they're not going to take us because we won't have a quality win unless they, like Sam's point is, like last year's quality loss was almost as good as a win.
Yeah.
And so if we're thinking 9-3 around that range, I mean, that's probably what they're thinking for a lot of these teams right there with us.
Yeah.
But again, it's a new committee. So what are they going to be thinking this year come week 8 or whenever they come off the rankings.
It's a good point. It makes you think about that because remember last year we went back and forth so many times on what can get you into the playoffs. Could 9-3 get you in? And turned out for us, it wouldn't have gotten us in.
Yeah. What's
right?
the Oklahoma win if that's going to be like your best win possibly if those are your 3 losses?
Yeah.
But if they have 5 or 6 losses, that's, like, I don't know.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is to your point, I think if we have 3 conference losses, that may be too many in this scenario. It's like it means we've got to take care of, we got to only absorb 2 losses. But at first blush, you think, okay, that means you got to take care of Oklahoma and Florida on the road. You got to take care of those.
Yeah, because you got to think Georgia's going to be a 1-loss, no-loss team, and that's going to be a quality loss. I mean, are you competitive in that game? That's going to mean a lot. Like, don't go get blown out by Georgia and Bama. Like, be competitive in those games.
We've also seen, like, you've played Georgia in the end of the year the past couple of years, and it kind of feels like that result has kind of knocked Tennessee down the rankings at kind of the end of the season where it's like, oh, Tennessee got pushed around by Georgia. They don't really seem like a playoff team. I do wonder if that like changes anything with Georgia being a week 3 game. Like, if you're decently competitive in the early season, or maybe you get blown out against Georgia in week 3, but for the rest of the season, you build a bunch of like really good momentum. We talked all last year about how it felt like there was so much recency bias kind of thrown into all of the playoff rankings and predictors and stuff like that. I do wonder if Georgia felt like such a measuring stick for Tennessee in the playoff conversation the last few years. And I do wonder if getting them earlier is a little bit more advantageous to Tennessee to be able to kind of finish the season strong. Just spitballing.
No, that's a good point.
As long as we don't have a stupid slip up though, too.
Exactly.
Like
you can't have the Arkansas
game almost cost us a playoff spot, So, and a lot of people it should have, like with some of the way some of the teams finished.
We needed help at the end of the season, right?
I mean,
Florida
losing,
Florida helped us taking out Ole Miss.
We also could have knocked Georgia out if we beat Georgia, because they had 2 or 3 losses going into that game or whatever it was. So I don't know. You say the regular season doesn't mean much, but like there are some games that kind of, hey, we can knock them out or whatever. But I don't know. For the most part, it seems like it doesn't really matter all that much.
All right. Well, there you go. See, we've ridden the roller coaster in this first half of the show. We went from we're doomed to so now there's a chance. ESPN believes it. We got to believe it. It's okay. Practice resumes tomorrow. There'll be something else that will be coming away going, oh, no. What's going on? All right. Quick timeout. When we return, we're going to jump to basketball. Keep it with the Vols. We talk about Joey Aguilar. How about Joey Lenardi? Joey Brackets. He put out his July version of way too early bracketology. The Vols are still comfortably secure in there, but they slipped a little. Who knows why, but we'll talk about it on the other side. Talk about where the Vols are projected from a seeding standpoint. And I'm just going to tell you this. I do not like this projection in terms of their region. It is loaded. That always seems to be the way for us. We'll talk about it when we get back. Stick around. It's under review on Fan Run Radio.
Streaming worldwide at fanrunradio.com and on the free Fan Run app. This is Big Orange Country's sports talk radio superstation. Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
And here we go. It's William Pattison, and this is your daily invite to Overtime on Fan Run Radio. Weeknights from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm breaking down everything you care about, from the latest Tennessee Volunteers news to bold takes on college football, the NFL, and NBA. If it's happening in the world of sports, I've got an angle on it. You bring the passion, and I'll deliver the truth, the fire, and the facts. It's Overtime with William Pattison, weeknights at 7, only on Fan Run Radio.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Citizens National Bank.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the CNB Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at CNB has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Knoxville, mark your calendars. Fan Run Night at the ballpark is back. Join us Wednesday, August 6th at Covenant Health Park as the Knoxville Smokies take on Biloxi and we take over the stands. It's all you can eat night, so make sure to bring your appetite. Plus, we're hooking up the fans with exclusive Fan Run swag giveaways you won't want to miss. Come hang with the Fan Run crew, rep your team, and enjoy a summer night of baseball, food, and fun. Fan Run Night, August 6th. Be there.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly. items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
What's the difference between an ordinary EV and a Mercedes-Benz EV? The feeling. Electric is what gets you there. Mercedes-Benz is what moves you in ways no other automaker can. Feel the freedom of the superbly versatile 7-seater EQB. Revel in the inspired, customizable comfort of the EQE sedan. Sense the brilliant intelligence of the EQE SUV. Discover the boundless capability of the EQS SUV. And luxuriate in the flagship meets spaceship magnificence of the EQS sedan. Every Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle offers the very latest MBUX voice-activated AI software, as well as remote access to a whole host of functions via the Mercedes Me Connect app. The vehicle's electric, the feeling all Mercedes, the choice all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQ.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Hour 3 of Under Review starts.
Welcome back to the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios of Fox Sports Knoxville Fan Run Radio. It's Under Review. Bob Baskerville here with Sam Beard, Brett Hollander, Jake Jenkins, and you. Appreciate you spending time with us on this Monday as we wind it down and get closer and closer to football with each passing day. Let us know what's on your mind about this football team, about our basketball team, about any of it. Phone lines are open. Text box open too. Same number works for both. You can reach us at area code 865-966-3435. That's 96. Interact with us on X at Fox Sports Knox. Time to hit some midday headlines, other things going on in the world of sports. And for that, I turn it it over to Sam Beard.
Got a new future for in LA. The Los Angeles Lakers have officially inked Luka Doncic to a $5 million max extension. Features a player option in 2028. 5-year, $417. Every time I read an NBA kind of way, to be quite honest with you. But Rob Pelinka said today Luka Doncic chose the LA Lakers, and that is a monumental moment in Lakers history. We could not be more grateful. Not really a surprise. We know that, the Lakers going out there and trading for Luka Doncic, you would have thought that that was the end goal, was to make sure that he was kind of the new star and not in waiting, because I think him and LeBron are obviously going to coexist together. But we know that LeBron not going to be around forever, probably in the last couple of years of his career, and the Lakers kind of needed a star to go with LeBron and a star for the post-LeBron era. So I think they have knocked that one out of the park. You've seen throughout the offseason Luka Doncic much more committed to his health, getting in a little bit better shape, being able to be a guy that they can rely on all the time. 28 games in LA, he averaged 28.2 points per game, 8.1 boards, 7.5 assists. So pretty much the same numbers that he was averaging with the Mavericks. We'll see if he can get a little bit better than that now that he's in some better shape. We saw the Luka when he first got into the league, how just fun he was, being able to be a little bit more athletic and being a little bit more bouncy, and the plays that he could make. So we'll see if we get a little bit more of that version of Luka with skinny Luka instead of fat Luka this year. But he is in the boat, the next future of the franchise for the Lakers.
They took a picture of players that were around for the signing.
Yeah.
And Pelinka was there, obviously, JJ Redick. LeBron was not there.
He's probably playing golf. He's playing a lot of golf this summer.
Dalton Connect was not there. But Austin Reeves wasn't either. But he was surrounded with a bunch of dudes. Rui Hachimura, Marcus Smart. I don't know. Just knowing the pattern we've seen with LeBron, this is probably bothering him.
Yeah.
It's like,
they didn't show up to my contract extension signing like that.
All this talk about Luka. What about me, man? What about you? You're making $52 million for a year.
Yeah, you'll be just fine.
Yeah,
you'll be just fine, buddy.
You're going to be okay. I think it's great for the Lakers. Laker fans should be very happy, and if Luka can stay in shape, man, who knows what he can do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's wild, like watching his old highlights when he first got into the league. It's like, is this a different player? Like, is this the same guy? And honestly, I mean, credit to him for being able to still be that effective while kind of maybe going in the wrong direction in terms of physical fitness, and still being able to just play at that level. I think that kind of shows. I'm very interested in just like how much more developed those European players are than American guys, and just like the longevity and stuff like that. I heard a clip of Joe Mazzulla talking about Nikola Jokic, and he said he plays like he plays water polo. And I can't get that out of my mind now that I've heard him say that. It's like those little touch passes where he's like jumping up in midair and kind of just bats it down the court.
Yeah. Swear.
Yeah. He loves those little touch passes.
He's amazing.
Well, big news in the NFL that basically it was breaking as we got off the show, I guess, on Friday. Micah Parsons makes the call and demands a trade from the Dallas Cowboys. We will see if that one comes to fruition, or if this is just classic Jerry Jones trying to make some last minute waves in the NFL world before we get into football season. But Micah Parsons pins a Notes app message. It's never good when you get the Notes app message in the midst of contract negotiations, but Jerry Jones has told fans not to lose sleep over the Micah Parsons ordeal. I think the world of Micah. That's just part of the negotiation. I don't really place that trade request with any seriousness. I wouldn't be standing here with you if I didn't think we potentially had a great future with Micah Parsons. We're in good shape. He said this is a negotiation, but make no mistake about it, life has to go on. If something happens to me or anybody else, life does go on. I think there's a lot of
bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Attention service members and veterans. Law firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you, because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Welcome back. Final segment. Talk a little Media Monday. Well, we've talked about this, but it became official Friday afternoon. ESPN acquires a piece of the NFL, which really means they're getting a hold of NFL media, but all that they own there is a lot. It's they'll have ownership of the NFL Network, a lot of other NFL media pieces. They'll have rights to 8 NFL games in the regular season. But I would argue maybe the crown jewel of what they're going to get their claws into is the NFL Red Zone channel, which has become in, not I was going to say a short amount of time. It's actually been around for about a decade now. It's one of the greatest things in sports TV. I mean, anybody who watches it regularly, I'm raising my hand right now. Sam's another one. Most people do. Brett's nodding his head. It's the best. And so the question becomes, Sam, what's ESPN going to do with it? Because they have been known to screw things up in the past when they've gotten their hands on things. A great example of what they say and insist they're not going to do that to is inside the NBA when it moves over there next season. They're saying, we're not touching a thing. It's going to be the same show. Time will tell. NFL Red Zone could be interesting, though, and it could run the gamut of, are they going to commercialize it to, are they going to screw it up? Is it going to, some people are saying, if you remove Scott Hansen and put Kendrick Perkins in there to do Red Zone.
I saw that one. That was funny.
It's going to be a reaction like January 6th.
Yeah.
You just don't know. But my theory is they are full steam ahead on launching their app called simply ESPN, which is going to have access to over 4,700 live events, as well as all of the ESPN networks. But they're also going to charge $30 a month. To me, this feels like this is an enticer to get people to cut the cord and head over to their app. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
What I worry about is you get the promise of it being untouched, quote unquote, for a year.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, we got people locked in. They're spending their money with us now. Let's flip it on its head and let's destroy everything that people like here. That's my concern with it. And so that's also my concern with inside the NBA, to be quite honest with you. Like, I think they're just going to kind of give them a year of feeling like they are kind of able to do what they have normally been doing at TNT. And then I just feel like it's going to get flipped on its head, and we're not going to know the real identity of inside the NBA anymore. And Red Zone's going to turn into just a commercial fest or some promotion for the ESPN, like, an ESPN Plus type of thing. Like, I just think it's all going to get roped in there eventually. And so, I hope they can stand firm on their belief of saying that we're not going to change anything, and it's just changing what network it's on. But I just have a very hard time believing that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that, like you said, nothing for anybody that's listening, there's no reason to be concerned about the upcoming football season. Deals like these, even though they've reached an agreement, it still has to pass regulatory rigor and have a closing date. It's minimum 6 to 8 months away. Could be longer. But for next season, Sam brings up a good point. It could be different. I think it is going to be a bargaining piece for them to get people to subscribe to their app. That's going to be the interesting part to see. There's other services like YouTube TV and others that are going to, I think, raise a red flag about this, but we'll see what happens. It's not going to go smoothly, though. That's almost something you can guarantee. But I hope, everybody's like, they're just going to commercialize the hell out of it. I believe, I don't know. There's part of me that thinks that Red Zone started having some commercialization last year anyway.
A little bit, yeah.
So
a little bit.
I think that's just a reality.
Maybe they were phasing us in to try and get us used to it before ESPN rocks our world.
That's it. Champions of the weekend, real quick. I got 3 of them. Number 3, Cam Young. Sam mentioned him in headlines. Wins his first PGA Tour event at the Wyndham after being runner-up numerous times. And he left nothing to doubt. He dominated in this tournament. Number 2, the NFL Hall of Fame inductees over the weekend, namely Sterling Sharp, who now joins his little bro Shannon as the only brother duo to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And even say what you want about what's going on with Shannon, I thought it was cool that he was able to be there and, be there, part of that history. But also Jared Allen's induction speech is absolutely riveting and fantastic, and you need to listen to it if you haven't seen it or heard it. It's that guy's got his priorities straight, man. There's no doubt about it. A lot of love for his family and what they've meant to him. Number 1, Dixie. Did you see Dixie?
I'm skeptical about Dixie, Bob.
You think it's manufactured?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, man. They're saying at a fan appreciation night at a collegiate summer league game in Portland, Oregon, a fan simply named Dixie got a chance to bat during the actual game. He was in shorts and an unbuttoned jersey and crushed a 3-0 pitch for a 2-run homer. Sam, you thinking this is an AI thing?
Not AI. I just think it was
just staged.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that the pitch,
right? You think so too?
Yeah.
Pitch count was
Evidently it was his second at bat too. Like he walked on his first at bat or something.
Yeah, and the pitch count was 3-0.
It looked like a softball.
Softball, just a meatball down the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, impressive to still be able to hit it out.
As he did.
Right, but
there's a lot of people there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just love just going by the name Dixie.
Yeah, I guess that is good.
It's kind of a code name.
What are they, Pickles or something? What was
the Portland Pickles.
Portland Pickles.
I wondered if at first if it was like Cape Cod League or something, because it could have been Portland, Maine, but it was on the West Coast. So another wooden bat summer league.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you got left, Sam? Or
honestly, the Hall of Fame stuff was going to be my big champion of the weekend. So yeah, I mean, I thought Jared Allen's was great. LaDainian Tomlinson's was awesome too.
Yeah.
Gates. I like
Gates. I'm sorry. I meant to say Gates. I was just thinking of LT with his shout out to him and Phillip Rivers.
That's crazy. He didn't play college football or anything.
I know.
It's still wild.
Unreal.
Yeah. It was cool. It was definitely cool watching you forget how good Sterling Sharp was. A well-spoken dude too. He did TV for a long time and then just vanished.
That's what they were saying at the Hall of Fame game when they interviewed him. They were like, everyone here has literally worked with him in some capacity.
Yeah. All right, boys. Got another one down. One more day closer to football. Good work today by you, Sam. Appreciate it. Brett, appreciate your help. Jake, appreciate you too. And you, the listener, appreciate you spending time with us. Keep it locked in on Fan Run Radio. The programming continues with The Chase and Chase Thomas here at 1 o'clock, followed by The Drive with Russell Smith and the boys at 3. And then the slate and overtime starting at 6 p.m. with William Pattison. We'll be back here tomorrow. Hope you join us then. Have a great day. Talk soon.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of.